Will drivers make more money due to coronavirus fears? Maybe. And we have more on that. What are drivers currently doing to protect themselves from this outbreak? And were you affected by the great Uber outage of 2020 that happened Thursday of last week? And also, did you know that Lyft has had their best financials yet? Welcome to Podcast 21. Jay here, and of course, Brandon.
What's up, guys? I'm not in the office this time, so we're getting a little remote action, but I think it's going to be just as good.
Just as good, and you know what else is just as good, Brandon?
What's just as good? Ooh, that crack open.
A little Friday office brewerino beer here. Let me take a sip.
Oh, whoa! It's like noon right now.
No, it's not. It's past noon. It's 1:28.
Okay, that's slightly better. What are you drinking though?
Well,
what is that?
Guys, have you ever had, Brandon, the Heavy Drop Sour New England IPA? I think this is Victory Brewing.
Sour IPA.
I will have to show the Gridwisers that are watching this. Victory Brewing limited release. Pretty good. I've never had this before.
What we should do is every Friday we should shoot the podcast every Friday and every Friday have a beer.
I think we should do that. Or like we wanted to do, read our hate comments while drinking beer. We should do that. Because I know there's a lot of people.
Excuse to drink beer.
A lot of people leave hate comments for us.
A lot of hate, including that this isn't a podcast.
Why do people hate on us, man?
This is a podcast because there is an audio format. We just happen to also record the YouTube video as well.
So it's like knocking out two things with one stone.
Two birds with one stone.
I don't want to go towards that.
You know, that's like people don't like that saying because it's like, PETA said
it's
essentially it's violent toward animals.
It is violent towards birds.
It's just a fucking saying. No one's out here throwing birds at stones.
Can I mention one thing to all the Gridwisers watching? What now? If you're listening to the podcast audio, please go to our YouTube channel so you can see what I'm talking about. Brandon, that is quite the bright headwear you have on.
This is my it's one of my favorite hats. I got one in orange actually. I just got one in orange. I like to call it highlighter orange to go along with highlighter yellow.
Which, I mean, it's literally just, that's all I see on my screen.
Watch the YouTube video so you can just see like my little yellow head action here. But what are we talking about? We gotta focus here on the news of like the week and the month and the year, maybe the decade so far. Well, definitely the decade so far is coronavirus.
Yeah, so like
COVID-19.
So this thing has really blown up in the news, and I feel like there's a lot of fear mongering going on, Brandon.
A lot of fear mongering, a lot of freaking out going on, and not to say that everyone shouldn't be as safe as possible and as clean as possible, but definitely a lot of fear going on, and obviously the travel industry is what's been taking the hit, and rideshare is a form of travel.
Sure is.
So obviously there's going to be some concern about, hey, rideshare drivers, are we going to take a hit here? I think a lot of our users know that we have anonymized earnings data from drivers across 32 markets. We started to analyze that data and compare it to data from throughout the rest of the year from the past couple of days, because the last couple of days is when it's been really kind of blowing up, right? So we just started to compare that data from this last couple of days to what we've historically seen this year and into last year. And driver earnings are actually up about 6%.
No kidding.
Right? Not huge, but driver earnings are definitely up. What do you think about that? Do you think this is... I mean, not to. I don't want to say drivers should be profiting off of the fear and death of I guess hundreds of people have died, and thousands, 3,000, and apparently millions of people are afraid. But is this more of an earnings opportunity for drivers? Like, what do you think there?
Well, I am very shook. I'm shocked that I thought the numbers would be lower.
Shooken.
I thought that because there's this fear going around, the fear of going out into public, people will be taking less Uber rides. And also some part-time drivers might be dropping off and saying, hey, look, like it's just side income is not worth it to me for the risk. And I thought earnings would be much lower as demand and supply go down. But what we're seeing is quite the opposite. And I'm surprised by that. And I think I have a theory now that I really think more into it, Brandon.
What's your theory?
I think that for the type of person who's the commuter who needs to get somewhere,
Right.
they have two options. They either take public transportation or they take an Uber. Now, if there's an outbreak of a contagion going around, that's kind of like choosing the less of two evils. Do you choose public transportation like you've always done because you don't have a car?
All right.
Therefore, exposing yourself to thousands of different potential infection sources, what in the health industry we call fomites. Okay, so public transportation, bus, subway, there's hundreds of people passing through, touching things. Or you just stick with the Uber and rideshare, because at least then you know that maybe Uber drivers don't have the same volume of passengers as public transport does. Because let's be real here. One city bus can hold like 100 people.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of unknown people on that public transit. Like you're right in the face of everyone on a bus or on a train.
You're holding on, you're touching, you're grabbing rails.
Right.
Everyone's touching it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely, I 100% see what you're saying. I think what people have to sometimes kind of have to realize is life kind of has to go on. There are things like people still have to go out. They still have to go grocery shopping and stuff. People are still going out. People are still going to go out Friday night, Saturday night. People are still traveling. Flights are overall travel is down a little bit. I think 5 to 10%, but people are still traveling. So I think that you are going to actually start to see not people just completely avoid transportation, but they're all going to try to be more isolated. And that's kind of interesting, right? From like a social standpoint, are we going to, after things like this happen, are we going to start to become just more isolated people and less, public people? I know already people are talking about, hey, let's not, don't dap anybody up, just give them a little fist pump instead of like shaking hands and things like that. The elbows, little shoe action.
Oh yeah, we've been doing the elbows in the office.
Well, no foot action.
Oh, wait. Shoe action.
Hey, whatever you're into.
Okay, that's weird.
People are doing that. Are we going to be more isolated as a society, which is maybe bad for society, but also probably good for rideshare drivers because you're going to have, more people taking rides instead of public transportation and maybe more people doing pools or less people doing pools, I should say. Because everyone hates pools. Passengers hate pools. Drivers hate pools. Everyone hates that
I hate pools. You hate pools. Passengers hate pools. My grandma hates pools.
Yeah, swimming pools are okay unless they're public. Those are probably out of the question now as well.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe some of the part-time drivers who find that the money they earn part-time is not worth the risk. That's just decreasing supply, driver supply. So you have more trips for everyone else.
I think you're going to see a little bit of that as well. And I don't want to blur too much into like our other topics, but we did a survey of drivers saying, hey, how do you feel about the coronavirus, basically, right? One of the questions that we had was, well, have you changed your driving strategy because of coronavirus? Only about 40% of drivers said they did change their driving strategy, and 34% of drivers, I believe, said, it was an open-ended question. So basically they said, hey, I just disinfect my car after every ride, which is smart. Clean your car, make sure that thing's clean.
Y'all should be doing that anyways. It's flu season, right?
Yeah. Only about 30% of drivers said that they were either driving less or have stopped driving in some capacity. And so that could mean they have started focusing on Uber Eats and Postmates and things like that, which that's a strategy. Some people say, hey, we're just driving less. And then some people said they completely stopped.
Yeah, and for the Gridwisers who are curious, we actually have a blog that we've been running before even the podcast was even thought up. Link in the description below. Go check out the blog post about coronavirus. We have
Everything
all the
drivers
data in
need to
there.
know.
Surveys, anonymized data. You're going to want to check this out.
Check
Link
it out
in the
for
description right now.
Yeah. Drivers, some drivers seem to have stopped driving or have been driving less. And what I think you're seeing for sure is the fact that demand is going, I'm sure demand is going down a little bit, but there's also supply is going down a little bit, and those drivers still on the road are reaping the benefits. They're still getting that check.
Yeah, I've seen those posts online of Chinese Uber drivers in full hazmat suits.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. If you are in China, especially if you're anywhere near Wuhan, yeah, no, I would have absolutely zip my entire car up and blowtorch this thing out after every ride.
That brings a question: What are drivers, Brandon? What are drivers doing to protect themselves from coronavirus? What's everyone's setup?
Cleaning stuff everywhere. We had I had a driver that actually reached out to me. She sent me some pictures of her setup, and she just has cleaning supplies just on deck, right? I don't
hand sanitizer.
I mean, hand sanitizer is the base level, right? So
it's you touch the door handle and it automatically dispenses hand sanitizer into your.
That's an invention. Somebody
against your will too. You don't even know, and then you just see ya, thanks. I'll tip you in the app, and you open the door. What?
Boom, hand sanitizer right there. Yeah, drivers just cleaning everything, right? So, and that's the smartest thing I think you can do. I honestly, if I don't want to we're not health officials, so we're not necessarily giving advice here, but if I'm a driver, I don't completely stop driving. I clean my car after every single ride. I am, I try to keep a distance from everyone. I'm not in everyone's face. And, I might just reap the benefits of, hey, there's a lot of drivers right now that might be neglecting things, especially the airport.
Dude, you might be, again, not a public health official, but I would think that rolling your windows down instead of having that confined air, turning off your AC, man, because you don't want that circulating inside your car cabin. Just pop all four windows down. I don't care if it's 12 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Pop the windows down so that thing just circulates through the outside. Yeah. So you don't have to breathe in any of those particles. Yeah. Oh, of course, wearing your mask as well.
That's a great idea. Kind of pop down those windows. But yeah, we also have another stat said that I think around 30% of drivers have stopped going to the airports because obviously airports are kind of a big fear for people. If I'm a driver, I'm going to the airport. I'm hitting an airport ride surge.
I'm trying to capitalize on these surges as well, Brandon. Here's another thing. Since we're on the topic of tips and tricks. How to keep yourself healthy. I'm pretty sure the CDC and NIH guidelines for dealing with this outbreak is to wash your hands, people. Don't stop washing your hands. I don't care if your hands are cracking because your skin be dry. Wash your damn hands. Wash
lotion
them.
On deck.
And do not touch your face. Don't rub your eyes. Don't touch your mouth. Don't touch your face. Don't scratch.
I touch my face.
Wash your hands. Keep hand sanitizer on you. At least 60% alcohol.
60. Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Anything important. Less is not effective, guys. At least 60% alcohol. Hand sanitizer. Alcohol.
Yep.
Keep that with you if you cannot wash your hands. Of course, nothing substitutes for good hand hygiene. Guys. Okay.
Yep.
Keep yourself healthy.
Yeah. So, that's what they said was important, 60%. But, I mean, all in all, guys, drivers are making a little bit more across the country. I mean, it seems like the overall supply is going down a bit. Looks like drivers are, especially maybe those part-time drivers, are staying home a little bit more. So, the drivers that are still on the road are reaping those benefits. They're getting it in. So,
and speaking of benefits and surging.
Yesterday,
The Uber driver app was down apparently worldwide. And when I checked my app, when you messaged me, I checked my app, there was like $15 surges all over the city.
Yeah.
I'm talking, I opened the app and that shit was flaming red.
Yep.
It was like flaming hot Cheetos red. Something you got to go see your doctor
Yeah.
about.
I was
red.
seeing 25. I was seeing for the flat surgers. I was seeing $25 surges in Atlanta and Houston. For those California drivers lucky enough to still have the old multiplier, that shit was going like 4.3 at least. But nobody got that money because you couldn't drive.
So those of you watching, how did you deal with the great Uber outage of 2020? Did you capitalize on that surge afterwards? And how did it affect you before? Like, how long was it down for, Brandon? Like an hour, 2 hours?
I think it was down for about 2 hours, yeah. Was it worldwide?
I wonder how that affected drivers. I read somewhere on Reddit that it could have been worldwide, but that's just the internet speaking.
Yeah, I know it was essentially across the U.S. I've heard that there was a new update. Don't quote me on that. That this is again just the internet talking. I heard there was a new update, which kind of screwed everything up, which would make a ton of sense. But
that's what happens with our app sometimes. We update, and I'm sure you guys know nothing comes. No update comes free,
developing
guys.
stuff is hard, so give us a little bit of a break. Give us a break there. But yeah, I heard it was something like that. Who knows? But yeah,
you know why? Give us a break. Gridwisers, we're a free app. That's why give us a break. Come on,
we're trying to give you some.
Show
money.
us some
leads.
But
what is the takeaway from that? What's your takeaway from the fact that Uber went down for 2 hours, taking money from drivers?
My takeaway is like, dude, this is not a stable source of income is my first takeaway. My second is like, holy shit, let's go make some money because shit be surging. And my third takeaway, Uber's not going anywhere. Rideshare's not going anywhere. No. It's so ingrained in our psyche, in our culture. I mean, we don't even say let's get a taxi. Let's say let's get an Uber. Who's calling an Uber in society? At least for millennials, which we are. What's a taxi?
I don't know. I think so. I agree with you. I mean, I think so. Like rideshare in itself can be a little bit unstable, right? You can get deactivated. Like Uber app can go down. Like different things can happen.
You can get deactivated for being in contact with a suspected coronavirus.
Which is we didn't talk about that, but that is nuts. That's nuts. That kind of sucks.
Well, it's actually. It sucks, but like, dude, you gotta stop a virus, like an outbreak somehow, right?
Yeah, but so yeah, I mean, you can get deactivated. You can. There's a lot of reasons that your money could be a little bit messed up because of rideshare. So one thing that I would definitely do is drive for as many platforms as you can. So Uber, Lyft, Via, Veo, Hopskip, Drive, Ride, Austin.
Get other income sources.
Get as many. Do DoorDash, Postmates, all of that stuff. Like if you're a gig, there should be no. I don't know if we talked about this before, but there should be no. I'm an Uber driver. You got to be straight. I'm a gig worker, so I am working for all these different services, and I am picking and choosing based on really demand which one that I'm gonna go for. Right? That's the key to this stuff. Is like it's not impossible to be a successful gig worker anymore. It's just you got to be more strategic. You got to be working for all these different platforms.
You gotta hustle, man. Like nothing comes hard. Nothing comes easy. You gotta put in the hard work and hustle.
You got to do it. You got to do it. And that's like, to me, that's the takeaway is, hey, this is why you can't rely on one. You have
just
to
like
be.
We got to do this podcast.
You have to be multifaceted.
We
right.
hustling, Brandon.
So that way.
We out here hustling for Gridwisers.
Hustling for views.
Putting out these weekly podcasts. We coming up with topics.
Hitting the clickbait.
We trying to entertain the viewers. Let us know how much you appreciate us, guys, because we do work super hard.
Probably don't appreciate it.
Subscribe. Like. Comment. Look how sad Brandon is. He's going to cry if you do not subscribe right now.
Oh, what else do we got here?
Lyft has their best week ever.
Lyft had a great week. So in the face of coronavirus, and I think, so one of the things that is happening, obviously, the stock market has fallen through the fucking floor right now, right? It's down a metric shit ton, I think is the best way to describe how much the stock market has plunged. Obviously, Uber and Lyft have, they've been taking on that ride as well. So the Lyft, was it the CFO or the CMO? I can't remember which one it was, but they essentially said they had their best week ever, which may be true. Which may be 1,000. I'm pretty sure it's true. It would be weird for him to just lie like that. I'm pretty sure there's like.
Yeah, that's a publicly traded company. They'd have to.
He'd be in a lot of trouble. So I am assuming that is true, and that makes sense because as we were just talking about, hey, like I'm not gonna take a bus if I don't have to. Though a lot of people are taking buses without any hesitation. This is the thing about. This is a slight tangent, but this is like the thing about this like outbreak. Everyone is like tweeting and going online and doing all these things about the coronavirus, but you probably did not think for a second about whether or not to do things like go to work or take the bus or take the train down to like to do whatever or when you're going to the club. You're probably not even giving that a second thought, but you're like on Twitter like freaking out about this.
And I'll tell you what though, it's people like to send those fearful tweets. People like to like go on social media and be like, oh my God, the world is ending. But like when it comes down to it and if it's going to affect your life, you're not going to stop going to work. You're not going to stop taking public transportation.
Right.
You're not going to stop taking Uber rides. And heck, I'm going out tonight.
You're going out. And you probably
I'm going out, guys.
And you probably did not even have a second thought about it.
No.
I was like, man, that shit's really crazy, coronavirus. But
but I'm trying to wild out tonight. But look, I'll tell you this: there's 2 cases in Pennsylvania now in Philadelphia.
Philly,
in like one of the 2 counties around it.
The city of brotherly love.
Well, presumed cases they're testing.
Presumed cases. Okay, so, so
Pennsylvania CDC is still testing.
Life is going on. So people are going out, but they might actually be taking Ubers instead and Lyfts and other rideshare services instead of public transportation, as we said earlier, which is why Lyft has had one of their best weeks ever. It'll be I wish we don't have like data like this, but when earnings come out for Uber, we'll be able to see if that case is if that's the case for Lyft as well. But good news there. I mean, kind of good news there for Lyft drivers.
What I realized? We should be asking what our video editor thinks. Tyler, what do you think? Edit something like, are you scared of coronavirus? Edit something on the screen. That's your answer.
Yeah. Just we'll have Tyler just like give us a little feedback. Are you scared?
Yeah.
Where's Tyler? Tyler's
at
like
any point.
Where's Tyler at?
I think Tyler is in Indonesia right now. He's like doing this digital nomad work remote. It's pretty
living
sweet
the
gig
dream over here, Tyler.
Yeah, he really is. He has multiple clients. We paying him money, and he's just I ain't on the beach.
Yeah. He's like
I ain't
you
drinking
see
coconut
those ads
milk.
of people like
Tyler's bathing in coconut milk
online.
right now.
he's
got palm fronds.
He does not have to wait till Friday afternoon to crack a beer. He's cracking a beer
he does not.
every damn day. Living the dream. That's Tyler, our editor. So but yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to Tyler. Anyways, but hey guys, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast. All the relevant links in the comment section. Did I say comment section? In the description below. And make sure to leave a comment because believe it or not, Brandon and I, we read every single comment, including the hate ones.
Those are the best.
And also, who are we going to roast? We haven't roasted a single company.
Who are we going to roast? Guys, let us know who we should roast because I don't know.
Hey, and yeah, let us know in the comments who we should roast. We want to be Wendy's. We want to roast people.
We do want to roast people. Our Twitter is very dead. Same with our Instagram. We're going to change that, guys. We're going to start tweeting.
Yeah,
Instagramming.
It's a 2-man show, so it's like there's only
our Instagram is just going to be Gridwise J modeling. He's going to be like one of those
like a calendar.
Those girls on the Instagram model.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that. No,
that's what it's gonna be.
I don't think anyone wants to see it. But if you do, let me know in the comment section down below.
All right, I think is that all we got? Is that it?
Yep. So have a good weekend. May you be blessed with surge and stay coronavirus.
Stay coronavirus free. Hand sanitize. Wash those hands.